It's Rob and Sandra from My Wife the Dietitian, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Magnesium. 7 benefits of increasing dietary intake, Rob.
All right, then. Bring it. I know nothing about magnesium.
Okay. Well, it's a mineral. We're going to talk about what it is, what it does, 7 benefits, why it's a nutrient of concern, according to the 2015 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee.
Okay.
What foods are good sources of magnesium?
That's always my question. Where do I get it? What do we got to eat?
Yeah. And the supplements. Do we need supplements? And a few recipes to round it up.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's dig in.
So what is it?
Well, it's a mineral, right? Is it a mineral?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like grade 11 chemistry class.
There you
that's
go.
What I know.
Yeah, actually, that's funny that you said that because it's what's known as the flame test, remember your Bunsen burner?
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, and magnesium is the one that burns with a star-like brilliance that lights up the entire lab.
Yeah, it's like really bright and like fiery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need the mineral in your diet to give your body that same kind of radiant, healthy shine and glow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It charges my Bunsen burner. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it actually relaxes you.
Fire me up.
Have a date. It'll help you relax.
Or a couple dates.
Yeah, meaning, the fruit date.
Those kind, yeah.
It'll help because it's high in magnesium.
Oh, there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's actually, magnesium is involved in 300 different reactions in our body.
Really? Is it like a catalyst?
It helps with muscle contractions and nerve transmissions. So it's integral in your heart beating.
Oh, for sure.
And in your immune system, keeping that healthy, and your bone health.
Oh, interesting. Sounds like an important one.
It is. Yeah. It's actually interesting because they showed that in terms of what magnesium does, we know that magnesium deficiencies can increase the risks of stress, and stress can increase the chances of magnesium deficiencies.
Oh, interesting. So they affect each other.
Totally. Yeah. And working the other way around, magnesium intake may decrease stress levels and have other cognitive health benefits.
Oh, there you go. That's when things are simple like that. They make sense.
Yeah. They did a study on noise and magnesium. So scientists subjected 6 groups of rats to noise stress for 3 months. The stress robbed their bodies of magnesium, and the louder the noise, the greater the decrease in magnesium levels.
Huh.
In tests on people who had to listen to loud traffic noise for 8 hours, results were the same.
Oh,
that
really?
means if you live or work where it's noisy, chances are that you need extra magnesium.
Wow. Well, yeah, a lot of parts of the world are like that, right?
Yeah.
Just the way we live nowadays, it's busy and hectic and loud, and there's lots going on, and we have things plugged into our ears all the time. And
That's right. That's
Wow.
right. And there's an increasing amount of evidence that many sudden heart failures among like type A personalities who maintain a constant state of self-induced stress might be due to magnesium deficiency.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wow. Scary, though.
I know. And the thing is, in 2015, the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee called magnesium a nutrient of concern. And the reason they say that is that generally it's like 61% of the population in North America, or 61% of Americans, are not getting enough magnesium in their diet.
What's that percentage again? 61?
Yeah,
Wow.
61. So that's why it's a nutrient of concern. And basically, inadequate magnesium is a marker of a diet high in ultra-processed foods.
There you go again with the ultra-processed.
Yeah, because it's stripped of magnesium. So when they use, whole grains and then you make it into a white flour, you're stripping away the magnesium. So you wouldn't get as much magnesium in a white flour product as a whole grain product, for instance.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
So I mentioned that, what it does, what it is. So what it does, because people are deficient, or 61% of North Americans, they are at increased risk of having high blood pressure, which leads to heart disease, Also, diabetes is implicated in having magnesium deficiency for a long time, and possible cognitive issues, and definitely sleep and stress, constipation, and leg cramps. Because what magnesium does, it relaxes the blood vessels. It relaxes us. It has a relaxing effect.
Oh, I see.
And so when you use magnesium, you might actually help relieve constipation. But if you take a supplement, you actually might get diarrhea because
you're getting too much.
Exactly.
Too much relaxing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people that have leg cramps, like pregnant women, might benefit from magnesium glycinate, a supplement that helps relax you. It helps with sleep, but just a small amount. But we'll talk about that in a bit, about the requirements. Or do you want to talk about it now?
Let's talk about it now.
Okay.
Since we're talking about it.
Jumping ahead. Well, men, you need about 420 milligrams, and women 320 milligrams. And the average intake is about 250 milligrams.
So that's not of supplements. That's what your total daily requirement is for magnesium.
Exactly.
And ideally, you're going to get it through food. But if you don't, you have to supplement the difference with pills.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some people will hear that and go, okay, I need to take a 420 milligram pill.
Well, the supplement doesn't correct an inadequate diet.
Exactly. Well, they never do, right?
Exactly. So the thing is with magnesium, it's widespread in our diet. So it's interesting that it's a nutrient of concern, but it's a nutrient of concern because so many people are eating a lot of their food as ultra processed foods.
Right.
So we need whole, minimally processed foods to get the magnesium.
Right. We're not eating the right foods, basically.
Well, we rely too much on foods that are highly processed.
Yeah.
So they're stripped of the magnesium and we don't get it in those foods. So it's actually, magnesium is an essential element for photosynthesis. So it's actually in the chlorophyll. And so the green leafy vegetables are a good source of magnesium.
Okay.
So anything that's green, that's like a vegetable, has chlorophyll, and that has magnesium because we know that that's an essential element for the reaction of photosynthesis.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay.
So can you tell some of the other green leafy vegetables that might be high in magnesium?
Wouldn't they all be? Spinach?
Yeah, it's a big one. Spinach is a big one.
Bok choy,
yep.
kale.
Yeah. Swiss chard is big.
Like the dark, like coarse, dense, leafy ones, right?
No, not just the dense ones.
Oh,
all
no?
of them.
Like
yeah.
Iceberg lettuce?
Well, sorry.
That's what I mean.
So the dark leafy greens, yeah, but they don't have to be coarse. They can be like tender kale.
Okay.
Broccoli, green beans, avocado.
Oh, yum.
And actually potato is a good source of magnesium.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And if people ate 5 vegetables a day, they'll get a third of their daily requirement of magnesium just from their vegetables.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So vegetables are a really big source. Whole grains are a really excellent source too. So bran and brown rice and whole wheat bread and oatmeal, those have good levels of magnesium.
Awesome. And throw some dates in your oatmeal.
You got it. Exactly. Nuts and seeds are another big one. Remember yesterday you were asking and I said, well, just have some nuts and you're going to get a good amount of magnesium from nuts and seeds.
Yeah, I live on nuts and seeds.
Yeah. Yeah. Brazil nuts are really high. Actually, They're one of the bigger sources. And they have something else, a micro mineral that we talked about.
Selenium.
You got it.
Yeah.
You remembered. That's awesome. Yeah. So, and almonds have a good source. Like they're another nut. So almonds and pecans and peanuts and cashews are all good sources of magnesium.
Nice.
And actually sunflower seeds are really high in magnesium.
Sunflower seeds, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So when we get to the end, when we talk about the recipes, you can probably start formulating some idea of some of the recipes because it's a lot of food that you eat that you talk about on here.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm a good source of magnesium by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I got some extra I can share.
Legumes. So soybeans, kidney beans, black-eyed peas, lima beans. Those are all really good sources. And like hummus,
Anything made with beans.
Exactly.
Legumes, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. And then there is some magnesium in dairy and in meat also. And with supplements, as I mentioned before, it doesn't correct an inadequate diet. And in a multivitamin, you do get a little bit. You get 50 milligrams in a multi.
Okay, like just in your daily vitamin, they add a little bit of those?
Yeah.
50 milligrams. Okay.
Yeah, so there's, a little bit, like there might be 50 in one, and a women's multivitamin has 64. So there's different levels in different types of multivitamin minerals, but generally speaking, if it's got mineral in it, like not just a multivitamin, if it's got multivitamin mineral, then you're going to get a little bit of that magnesium.
Right. Because they assume you're going to get some from your food.
Yeah. Well, they're just making a formulation. So, yeah. And so, as I mentioned, it's good for stress and helpful for sleep. So some people take a little bit.
Wasn't it a specific one that's helpful for sleep?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So there's different types of supplements. The magnesium oxide and magnesium chloride tend to loosen the bowels a bit much, and they could cause diarrhea. Whereas magnesium glycinate is the one that's pretty easy to absorb, and it helps with sleep at night.
Right.
So that one you'd probably take in the evening.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not suggesting that people even need to take magnesium if you're eating a whole minimally processed diet, like you have these foods that we mentioned, like the whole grains, nuts and seeds, lots of vegetables and legumes, and you might be getting what you need.
Right.
And bonus, chocolate and coffee both are good sources of magnesium.
Well, there you go. I'm definitely on the right track then.
That's right. Yeah, there's other types of supplements too, like gluconate and citrate. But talk to your doctor or a health professional if you're thinking that you need a supplement. A couple recipes that incorporate some of these good foods we talked about. So your oats in the morning, what do you put in your oats again?
Lots of magnesium. It's pretty much a bowl of magnesium by the sounds of it.
Oh, well, what foods?
Oatmeal and nuts and seeds, and I put raisins, but are they magnesium kind of like dates are, or similar? Not so much?
Good question. I think like raisins do have some magnesium.
Yeah, but you could put dates, but I do sometimes. Yeah. I put oat bran on it too.
Walnuts and oatmeal and oat bran. I was just going to say bran.
Oat bran, wheat germ.
Yeah, that's it.
All those, and then all the flax seeds and chia seeds and hemp hearts and all that stuff. So sounds like lots of magnesium sources in there.
Oh yeah. And actually our water here is hard, and actually in hard water, cities that have hard water, they have a little bit of extra calcium and magnesium, and they've done studies and shown people that drink harder water actually have lower rates of heart disease, and it's partly because of the magnesium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
So 2 more recipes quickly. Smoothie with banana, chocolate milk, peanut butter, and avocado is a very magnesium-rich smoothie.
An MG smoothie.
Yeah, with some yogurt maybe.
Did you get that?
MG.
Isn't that the chemical term? Is it big M, little G?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It totally is.
I was an expert at that. Can't remember what that thing's
Periodic
called.
table?
Yeah, that. I knew that. Like, I understood that part of science. I was good at memorizing or whatever. I aced that stuff.
That's
so I remember
awesome.
I remember the MG.
Yeah. Do you remember the?
Oh, don't test me.
The number,
no,
like the little.
It.
No.
No.
The electrons.
At the time, I probably did, but I don't now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a biochemistry lesson today, eh?
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, one last recipe, and then we can wrap it up. A broccoli almond salad with sunflower seeds drizzled on top. Drizzled.
The seeds are drizzled on top.
No, with balsamic drizzle.
Lovingly laid throughout.
Olive oil. But no, the broccoli with almonds and sunflower seeds.
Well, there you go. That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do that.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Why are there so many deficiencies with all these great food options?
Well, we'll put out a recipe book soon, and
that'd be fun.
Those 3 recipes will be in there.
Yum. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that information today. It's good to know these little tidbits and what we're lacking and what we need and how we can fix it and all that.
Yeah, well, I just want to do a quick recap. The 7 benefits of increasing your dietary intake to help with stress and cognitive function.
All right.
So help prevent heart disease, help with blood pressure control, help prevent diabetes, It could possibly benefit people that have dementia, Alzheimer's. It helps with the relaxing effect of sleep, helps with constipation, and with leg cramps.
Awesome. There you go. That's plenty of reasons to include some of those magnesium-rich foods in your diet.
Yeah, and just try to eat more whole minimally processed foods, and in overall would be helpful.
All right. Words of the wise from the wise.
Very funny.
Awesome.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Be sure to check out the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, our website, mywifethedietitian.com. You can email us your questions and comments if you wish at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to rate and review the show.
And we got a great episode coming up on Monday. We interviewed the author, Margot Fedorak, all about her memoir and recipe book and those wonderful recipes. And it's a lively conversation. It's definitely tune in for that.
Yeah, that'll be coming up on Monday. So until then, have a great week. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.